Happy holidays from Knoxville, Tennessee, and welcome to Thompson Bowling Arena, where tonight the unranked Tennessee Volunteers play host to the UT Martin Skyhawks. And good evening, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by Barry Booker. And Barry, for the first time in 26 national polls dating back to the end of the 2009 season, the Volunteers are not in the top 25. This after they started the season 7-0, which included victories over undefeated Pitt and Villanova, but they have since lost 3 of their last 4. As you take a look at the numbers, you can see the contrast in games 1 through 7 and games 8 through 11. Barry, what's wrong with this team, and can they get it fixed by the time Pearl starts that suspension?
Well, the scouting report is out on Tennessee. You have to slow them down by not turning the basketball over, and you also try to force them to beat you from three-point range. The Vols haven't been very good shooting threes during this season, and they've been atrocious during their losses, shooting around 26% from three-point range during those 3 losses, and that's been the key to their troubles.
Our Star Watch tonight features the Skyhawks' Ruben Clayton. He was their leading winner with 5.7 seconds left to beat Belmont, the Volunteers' last game before Christmas.
Clayton was averaging nearly 20 points a game through the ups, and the key for Tennessee in those losses, he has not played well. He'll have to do a good job tonight.
It's the Tennessee Volunteers and the UT Martin Skyhawks meeting for the 4th time ever. The Volunteers have won the first 3. We're back with the opening tip in just a moment. Back at Thompson Bowling Arena as the Tennessee Volunteers are set to host the UT Martin Skyhawks. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, career victory here in his 19th season as a head coach. Antonio Petty, Mike Nance, and Jeff Smith, your officials working tonight's ball game.
Tennessee has struggled scoring points these last 3 ball games. 65, their highest output in these last 3 games. 65, what they came up with in the 66 points, excuse me, in the 1-point win against Belmont. The Vols will face another team in UT Martin who will try to slow the pace of this game and force Tennessee to beat them from outside that 3-point line.
Volunteers in their home white trimmed in orange, and UT Martin in their road navy trimmed in orange. Scotty Hobson kick out the goings, now down to 7 on the shot clock. Inside they go to Brian Williams, missed the bunny.
Beautiful pass by Melvin Goins. Can't get a better shot than that. Brian Williams has to go to the glass with that shot, bank that one home.
Oddly enough, Barry, as you look at this UT Martin ball club, their top 3 scorers statistically are on the bench, not in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Jason James about that situation. He said he just likes to mix things up, likes to get different guys in the starting lineup.
Troy King, the freshman out of Gaithersburg, Maryland, one of the 3 freshmen in the starting lineup, hit that opening jumper, and the Skyhawks have the early lead. A foul's going to be
James at UT Martin, changing things up, reloading, retooling with this Skyhawk club.
He can hope that one of those 6 freshmen, as Hobson hits the runner, he can hope that one of those is as good as Lester Hudson or Jared Newsom, 2 of the top players in Skyhawks history and part of their OVC championship team a couple of years ago. That's the aforementioned Terrence Smith on the dribble. Also leads this team with 2.4 assists per game. Troy King shooting over Stephen Pearl, and Hobson the rebound. Scotty Hobson puts it on the floor, takes it to the bucket, missed the runner. That's a couple of point-blank range shots for the Volunteers that haven't gone down here in the opening couple of minutes.
UT Martin, an undersized club. They're without their 6'8" center, Spencer. And just a small unit out there for Martin, and Tennessee should be able to get to the basket and score effectively because of all their size.
The sophomore Ron Spencer out likely for the season with a shoulder injury. He had started 6 games for them and was one of their top rebounders, certainly was their top offensive rebounder and also their top shot blocker. Take a look at the keys to the game for the Skyhawks.
Tennessee Martin just needs to slow this game down, force Tennessee to execute in the half-court situations. Vols have had a tough time doing that these last few games, and so far in this ball game, they're getting really good shots. They're getting close to the basket. The Vols just aren't converting on their opportunities. The crowd is very quiet here as the pace of this game has been very slow.
Smith off the mark on his 3-point attempt as we take a look at the keys for the Tennessee Volunteers.
Vols just have to bring that intensity. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. The confidence level a little bit down right now for these Volunteers. They have to bring that confidence and intensity for this ball game tonight.
Hobson nails the 3. That's a good sign for Tennessee. He has really struggled, as has the entire Tennessee team behind the arc. Tennessee dead last in the Southeastern Conference in three-point shooting percentage, but the Volunteers now have a 3-point lead.
And Hobson had played so well in those first 7 ball games. Tennessee was rolling along. He was averaging about 19 a game. Hobson struggled these last 4 ball games, and as he has struggled, the Vols have struggled.
Terrence Smith knocks down the 3. A tie game at 5. Tobias Harris comes to the scorer's table. He will check in on the next horn. Goins knocking down the 3. Melvin Goins.
Scotty Hobson making it happen. He has scored on a penetration move. He's hit a 3, and that drive set up Melvin Goins' 3-point shot. The ball is starting to click offensively.
3-point lead for Tennessee. Troy King behind the arc. Skyhawks 1-7 on the road and coming off a disastrous 60-point loss, 100-40 at Ohio State 48 hours ago. Tennessee off to a good start, leading by 3. Forbes and Bruce Pearl, their recruiting ban will continue for a full year.
Of course, that situation lingers because the NCAA still hasn't served the university with that official letter of inquiry stating their findings. Coach Pearl says that their investigation with regard to him is pretty well complete, and they're just waiting to find out exactly what the NCAA has come up with, and then they'll find out what those penalties are, but probably not until this spring. Expectation is it'll probably be sometime April, May, June timeframe before Tennessee finds out exactly what punishment the NCAA will impose as a result of this entire situation.
Jason Shea's recruiting ban ended this week, and he hit the road immediately, went to the Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, one of the top high school prep tournaments out there, and then headed on to Atlanta to visit some prospects as well. Air ball by Terrence Smith, but the follow underneath by Dane Smith put it in, and the Skyhawks are within 1.
UT Martin has gone to their 3-2 zone. They play this zone quite a bit, but they have done a nice job slowing the pace of this game. Tennessee has had 0 opportunities in fast break play.
Golden, the miss, or rather Jordan McRae, the miss, and then he trips going back down the court.
I think he's a little nervous.
Well, he's been given an opportunity to kind of earn that backup role behind Cameron Tatum. They've been looking for who's going to come into the game after Cameron Tatum comes out. And right now, Jordan McRae is the first guy off the bench to fill that role.
There was some thought given to redshirting Jordan McRae, but he has performed so well during his time on the court. Coach Pearl has decided to give him that chance.
Strong move by Troy King gives the Skyhawks the lead here, 9-8. And the foul's going to be called underneath. It is going to be on Tennessee. It's going to be on John Fields. That'll be the first on him. So the Skyhawks with a 1-point lead here, 6 minutes into the ball game. Much better start than they endured on Monday night in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier, Matt, that UT Martin blown out 100-40 in that game against Ohio State.
And it was never close.
Yeah. From the outset, but they are playing very well, UT Martin is, against this UT ball club here in Knoxville.
Inside they go. Irazabal beat the defense. And a 3-point lead for the Skyhawks.
Nice set by Jason James' club. They opened the middle of the court and got a cutter free at the basket.
Trey Golden, the freshman out of the Atlanta area, knocks down the 3. Game tied at 11.
Ball is shooting it very well from 3-point range so far in this ball game.
3 of 4 behind the arc right now. And they're averaging only 4 threes per game. Libo misses. Libo is the leading scorer among those 6 freshmen. court. Irazabal banks it in. So the Skyhawks showing an early fight here against the in-state Volunteers.
Yes, a dramatic contrast to their performance just a couple of days ago at Ohio State. UT Martin coming out playing very strong against this Tennessee club that has the size advantage, the athleticism advantage. The Vols just can't get control of this game.
Tobias Harris off the mark there. And again, Harris did not start tonight, was not being punished, but he did not get back into town last night from the Christmas holiday until 11:30 last night, 2 days after everybody else because of the storms in the Northeast. He was just snowed in New York.
Exactly. And these other players had been here for 2 practices, so Coach Pearl deciding that, hey, he hadn't been here for practice, we can't start him, but Tobias Harris is getting a chance to play as UT Martin has opened a 5-point edge.
How about Ruben Clayton knocking down the 3 right there, and now the Skyhawks have a 5-point lead. While you watch tonight's game on CSS, you can also follow it on Twitter. Tweet me at Matt_Stewart CSS. You can also follow the network on Facebook. Andres Irazabal, a 6'7", 235 senior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with a couple of early baskets, some strong presence underneath.
And that after a Tennessee turnover. Jordan McCray got that rebound, but turned it over right away, and UT Martin took advantage of it, got the layup. The Skyhawks have shot well from 3-point range as well, in a team that definitely lacked confidence after getting blown out at Ohio State just Monday night. Here on Wednesday night, they have a nice 5-point edge here as we approach the midway point of the first half in Knoxville.
Well, as you see, the Tennessee Volunteers were picked to finish 4th in the SEC Eastern Division, behind the Georgia Bulldogs, behind the Kentucky Wildcats, and the Florida Gators, who were chosen overall to win the Southeastern Conference Championship. Tennessee lost a lot from last year's team.
Yeah, a lot of seniors on that club with J.P. Prince, Tyler Smith, Bobby Mays, Wayne Chisholm. This team has a lot of new faces, some very talented pieces, but Coach Pearl is still trying to figure out how to exactly fit those pieces together.
And Scotty Hobson, he is their leading scorer, as Bruce Pearl told us today at shoot-around. This is his team. He's been empowered by Bruce Pearl. He's been empowered by his teammates to take over and be the leader. In the past, he was a complimentary role to all those veterans, and now he's in the spotlight. Certainly has the skills and the athletic basketball ability to do that. Now, does he step forward and become the real leader of this team? Statistically, he has been.
And he has been on the court. They have really relied on Hobson so far this season. When he has played well, the team has played well. But that consistency has not been there for Hobson. And it continues to develop with this team, all those leadership and those intangible factors that go into making a good basketball team.
And that guy who just scored the basket on the other end for the Volunteers, he's the other guy.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris, the super freshman, and a young man Bruce Pearl says is the most mature freshman he's ever coached in his 19 years as a head coach. Richardson on the drive, nowhere close. Brian Williams clears the boards. Trey Golden all the way through the defense.
Finally a chance to get in the open court for Tennessee, and Trey Golden able to take it all the way to the basket. Nicely done, as the Vols have taken that 5-point edge for UT Martin down to 1 after Coach Pearl's timeout.
Clayton knocks down the 3. Ruben Clayton and Benzer Simmons are the 2 seniors on this team who have really had to step back and kind of change their roles with all this influx of freshman talent for UT Martin. And that was Clayton knocking down the 3, and that's Benzer Simmons coming up with the steal and knocking down the basket. So back-to-back baskets by their 2 senior leaders.
Nicely done. Good defense there by UT Martin. Benzer Simmons able to step in, take away that cross-court pass from Josh Bone. UT Martin hanging tough.
6-point lead for the Skyhawks, and the crowd here at Thompson Bowling Arena a little bit restless right now as Tate gets inside the defense.
Nice pass by Tobias Harris. You can see the skill level that he has. Able to look right over the defense, find Cameron Tatum at the basket. Nice cut by Tatum and a nice finish. With Tennessee's size, they should be able to be very effective in this ball game around the basket.
But I tell you what, you got to be impressed with the fight that the Skyhawks have brought to this ball game after getting embarrassed in Columbus, Ohio 48 hours ago. Simmons travels on the play, but Simmons with a steal and a big basket here in the opening 10 minutes of this ball game, and the Skyhawks have the lead by 4.
Martin is a school that pushes you to be the best person you can.
I'm setting up the rest of my life from my experiences here at Martin, and I know I'm prepared.
With more than 100 academic program areas, top faculty, and excellent facilities, we've earned a reputation for being a top public university in the South.
At UT Martin, you can get a private school education at a public school cost.
It's really a stepping stone to the next level.
We invite you to experience UT Martin.
Plane's not here. Plane before the plane's not even here. But wait, what's this? Your Xfinity TV moment. The realization that the world's greatest collection of on-demand shows and movies, even HBO and Showtime, is only a click away. For the first time ever, your on-demand is now online for no extra cost, only with Xfinity.
'Tis the season not to make a $5,000 mistake. And during Long Hyundai's holiday wrap-up event, save up to $5,000 on every new Hyundai in stock. And wrap up a new Accent for just $99.88. Or get a new Elantra for just $99 a month. Or choose a new Sonata, just $199 a month. Plus, Long Hyundai will give you $500 in holiday cash with every purchase. Ho, ho, ho! But it ends January 3rd. And remember, Long Hyundai's Purchase Center will buy your used car even if you don't buy one of ours. Visit Long Hyundai or click us at longofchat.com.
The O'Reilly World of Wheels Custom Auto Show at Chattanooga Convention Center, January 7th, 8th, and 9th. See the hottest rods and coolest custom cars, trucks, and bikes. Appearing all 3 days, meet WWF Hall of Famer, $1 Million Man, and Virgil, the legends of wrestling. Bring the kids to meet their friends Scooby-Doo and Kids World. And see the amazing stunts by the On the Edge stunt team. Plus, Saturday only, meet Freddie from Nickelodeon's iCarly. Discount tickets on sale now at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Kids only $5, under 6 is free. For all the details, go to worldofwheels.info.
Scotty Hobson has been a big-time player for the Tennessee Vols this season. A huge game against Villanova, also a huge game in their victory over Pitt. Those were the 2 unbeatens that the Volunteers have knocked off this season.
As Scotty Hobson goes, so go the Volunteers. He is off to a pretty good start in this ball game tonight, but his club down by 4 right now.
Scotty Hobson, you see his outcome here in the first 8 games, and then in the 3 losses, a significant increase, or decrease, I should say, in the 3 losses as opposed to the first 8 ball games. And not coincidentally, the Volunteers have lost 3 of their last 4.
Yeah, and his three-point shooting is so critical to his game. Hobson hit his first 3-pointer tonight. He has been very effective driving to the basket as well. Let's see if he can continue that hot shooting. There's one that he turned down.
Hobson on the drive, and a blocking foul on the Skyhawks.
Tennessee has that advantage with their size. UT Martin had an advantage of 8-2 on points in the paint up until a few moments ago. The Vols have gotten some points in the paint these last few sequences, and it's now 8-8 as far as points in the paint. And Hobson did a nice job there getting into the lane and drawing that foul.
King was called for the foul. That'll be the first on him. So Scotty Hobson at the line, shooting 78.3% from the free throw line. He's number 8 in the Southeastern Conference, and a dramatic improvement for Scotty Hobson this season over last year when he shot less than 60% from the free throw line. Said he really worked on it. The performance that he had at the free throw line in the Elite 8 against Michigan State really plagued him and haunted him during the offseason, and he worked hard to improve upon that. He's been able to do that.
Yeah, his technique is so much better. He had the ball on the palm of his hand last year when he was shooting it, and that caused him to be inconsistent with the distance that he put on the basketball, and that's helped him both from the line and the three-point line as well with his shooting to become a more consistent shooter.
Richardson holding the ball, and this was going to be the game plan for the Skyhawks tonight. Slow things down, run that shot clock. They know they can't get into a run and shoot battle, although they're doing a pretty good job shooting the ball right now as Libo knocks down the three, and the Skyhawks have a 5-point lead.
UT Martin in their sets, a lot of the time you'll see no one in the middle of the court offensively, so you have room for cutters and room for guys to drive it to the basket.
Tatum the miss and Simmons the rebound.
See Martin here, you see the paint, no one there. So anytime a guy can drive it into the lane, you have to come in defensively and honor that. And then you get the open shots out on the perimeter.
Tatum ahead to Goings. Goings kicks out. Hobson bottoms on the three. 3 3-pointers for Hobson.
10 points in the game for Scotty Hobson, off to a very good start in this ball game.
The turnover, and then King is called for the foul. Scotty Hobson with 3 3-pointers in this ball game. And it's got Tennessee back within 2.
They've got something in store for everyone, too.
And all preseason long, we've been hearing about the
Hey, where are you going? What, are you turning off the show?
Well, we're just about to preview the best games in the ACC. Brian Oliver's going to join us.
And then we're going to preview tonight's big SEC game.
But I'm going to the game.
You'll be sure to tune in the rest of the week, though, right?
You got it.
CSS brings Southern sports fans shows you can't see anyplace else. Only on cable. Only CSS and CSS-sports.com.
Nice hat.
The campus is rocking for the holidays. Don't let the recession fool you. We're not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, we have to make room for new inventory. So we're having a $10 million inventory reduction on furniture and flooring. Save up to 70% throughout the campus. Sofas for as low as $3.99. Area rugs start at just $1.99. No reasonable offer will be refused. It has to go. We're moving this inventory now so we don't have to pay tax on it at the end of the year. And get 12 months interest-free financing for this special event. The $10 million inventory reduction on the amazing Carpets of Dalton campus.
This is Dr. Love! And this is Dr. Pepper Cherry. It's got a little kiss of cherry flavor. You want cherry? How about a little kiss? You can't beat a little kiss of cherry. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
In college basketball, it's all about how it stacks up. Every game builds up to the dream, and the best place to see college basketball in the South is CSS. Over 175 live college basketball games, men's and women's matchups from the SEC, the ACC, Conference USA, the Sun Belt, and more, all on one channel. College basketball in the South is on CSS.
UT Martin continues to lead Tennessee up a bucket here with 7:38 to play in the first half. And like the Volunteers, the Skyhawks are not a great three-point shooting team, but both teams are 4 of 7 behind the arc to start this game.
Ruben Clayton knocking home a three-point shot. The Skyhawks dropping those three-point shots home. They're spreading the court and making it difficult for Tennessee to defend them because UT Martin has a lot of small, quick players on the court. Tennessee has to honor that quickness, back off them a little bit, help when guys begin to penetrate, and UT Martin able to take advantage of Tennessee's collapsing defense by knocking home some three-point shots.
You saw number 15, Ruben Clayton, the senior out of Memphis. He's one of only 2 players on this Skyhawks roster from the state of Tennessee. And he came to UT Martin by way of northern Oklahoma. So the crowd a little bit quiet here as the Skyhawks have given the Volunteers probably a little bit of an unexpected fight.
Yeah, you look at the score in the paper from Monday night, 100-40 at Ohio State, and you think, okay, we got a blowout on our hands here. Martin hanging tough.
Maimon with the put in, and the game is tied at 24. That's Jerron Maimon. The transfer from Marquette, playing in just his 4th game since being becoming eligible to play. He had to wait until the end of the fall semester in the grades to come in for him to be eligible. 24-24 here, now under 7 minutes to play in the first half. Long-range jumper, Clayton off the iron, but Irazabal got the rebound.
UT Martin doing a great job. The offensive backboards, they have 3 offensive boards. Tennessee doesn't have any so far in the game.
Foul's going to be called on UT Martin. More college basketball coming up on Thursday night here on CSS. A doubleheader from the FedEx Forum. The 21st ranked Memphis Tigers will play host to the Lipscomb Bisons of the Atlantic Sun. And then Pac-10 action tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern as Arizona takes on Oregon. Doubleheader of college hoops coming up Thursday night on CSS. And of course, Memphis and Tennessee will play next week. Goings comes up with the ball. Stepped on the sideline. I think the big question among Tennessee fans and even amongst Bruce Pearl after the way they finished up before the Christmas holiday, the 1-point win over Belmont, was what Tennessee team would show up after the holiday. Would they be ready to play? Would they be ready to enter the most difficult portion of their schedule, that being the Southeastern Conference next week? Ahead to Hobson. Hobson splits the defense, got fouled.
I think another big issue for this Tennessee club is the rotation. They really have 15 guys that they want to get in the game. I think we've seen 12 players for the Vols so far this evening. And it is difficult to mix in that number of players. A lot of them haven't been very productive, but they're talented. You want to give them a chance to be productive. I think Coach Pearl is still trying to sort out exactly how to handle that rotation. Difficult to play a lot of guys as well when you're not pressing, where you're not expending a lot of energy on defense. So it's a challenging situation for Coach Pearl.
Hobson shoots the Volunteers back into the lead, and he admitted 15 players, that's too many. He says you can't play 15 players. He said back in the days when we played pressure full court defense, you could play more players, but we're not really doing that anymore. They likely have to shorten that rotation once they get into the Southeastern Conference. But he's got personnel decisions that he's got to make. We talked about it earlier about Cameron Tatum. Who comes in after Cameron Tatum? They're trying to figure that out. They thought maybe Ronaldo Woolridge would be that guy, but he hasn't turned out to be that guy. And now Jordan McRae's getting a chance to try to do that.
Yeah, the starters have been pretty solid, but with this Tennessee team, they're not getting much production off that bench from anybody. So it's kind of hard to figure out, okay, we got a lot of guys similarly talented. Who should get those minutes?
Dane Smith knocks down the jumper, and we're tied again at 26. Hobson, 3. Smith gets the rebound, pushes the ball up the floor for the Skyhawks. Libo, one of the few quick shots for the Skyhawks, a battle for the rebound, and timeout called by the Skyhawks. Bruce Pearl thought they had traveled over there. Instead, they get the timeout. Scotty Hobson leading scorer in this ball game for either team. He's got 12 points right now.
He has been aggressive from the outset in this ball game. I don't believe he has a turnover. That has been a little bit of a problem for Scotty of late. But he has shot it well from three-point range. He's put it on the floor, gotten himself to the basket and scored, gotten himself to the foul line. He's set up his teammates. Very good ball game for Scotty Hobson so far, and a good sign for the Vols that he is starting to play well.
Absolutely, the turnovers have been the biggest issue with Scotty Hobson. Bruce Pearl says he's had a fabulous season. He said, do you want a guy that can, lead your team to victories over Villanova and Pittsburgh? Well, absolutely you do. But he does have the issue. When he puts the ball on the floor, he's just not a very good ball handler, and he does lead this team in turnovers.
Yeah, and you want him to be aggressive. You want him putting it on the floor, getting to the basket, creating trouble for the opposing defense. But he's got to take care of it as well.
Goins will take it.
Oh! 5'11", but with a lot of hop.
Yeah,
Melvin Goins.
Don't let the 5'11" fool you. This kid can get up in the air. In fact, he is the shortest scholarship player that they've had since Pearl has been the head coach. Simmons off the mark on his shot, and Hobson chases down the rebound.
5'11" might be stretching it a little bit too.
Hobson. Melvin Goins was able to take advantage of the loose ball and slam it home.
Young man can rise. And he is the real tough guy on this team. Great defender. He was phenomenal against Pittsburgh and against UConn. Did a great job shutting down the opposing club.
Elias Harris, missed the shot, got his own rebound. And then the ball gets tipped ahead by Smith. Smith, and shot rejected by Scotty Hobson. And then knocked away back on the other end by Ruben Clayton.
Well, you see the flashes of athleticism for this Tennessee club. Goins with a slam dunk a few moments ago. Scotty Hobson, the McDonald's All-American, rising up and taking away a basket. Some impressive athletes on this ball club for Tennessee.
You know, and Bruce Pearl says Scotty Hobson probably does not get enough credit for the defense that he does. He doesn't do a lot on defense, but quietly doesn't get scored on.
Yeah.
Which, bottom line, is kind of the purpose of the defense. Don't let him score, right?
That is the point. And at 6'7", those long arms, a great leaping ability. He is a very difficult matchup. He's got quick feet. It's hard to handle a guy of that size who can move his feet out on the perimeter.
Kenny Hall. The turnaround from Kenny Hall and a 4-point lead for Tennessee. Skyhawks have committed 3 turnovers now in their last 6 possessions, only 1 field goal. This is the largest lead for the Volunteers. Terrence Smith hitting the fall away. Terrence Smith had a career-high 20 points in their loss to Murray State before Christmas. Goins back on the other end off the mark. Rebound, however, is controlled by Bone. Josh Bone, who has been out since the exhibition season with a broken wrist. This is his first regular season action of the year. And they, as if they needed another player for their rotation. They got him back. Terrence Smith hitting the fall away to keep the Skyhawks in the game.
AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, period.
People choose 5-Hour Energy over 7 million times a week for lots of reasons. It's a nutritional supplement that really works. Its ingredients are found in everyday food like avocados, broccoli, and bananas, or already in you. It contains about as much caffeine as a cup of the leading premium coffee, 0 sugar, and only 4 calories. What will your reason be for choosing 5-Hour Energy? Its effectiveness? Its beneficial ingredients? There's only one way to know. Try it today.
Is your computer running slowly? Thinking about buying a new one? Don't waste your money. Your computer could be infected with spyware, malware, viruses, or you could be experiencing registry errors, spam, and pop-ups. With new technology, you no longer need a technician to come to your home or drop your computer at some store. Get a free diagnosis at maxmyspeed.com and find out in minutes what's slowing down your computer.
They were able to diagnose it and solve our problem. It's at least 100% to 150% quicker than before.
My computer runs twice as fast.
The computer has run so much quicker. It's safer, it's faster, it's more secure.
My computer is 100% faster than it was prior. All I could say is, I'm a raving fan. This is unbelievable.
Go to maxmyspeed.com right now for your free diagnosis and find out in minutes what's slowing down your computer. That's maxmyspeed.com for your free diagnosis.
Tennessee with a 2-point lead on UT Martin with just under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Of course, you perhaps have heard of Lester Hudson, probably the greatest player in UT Martin history, had a quadruple double back in 2007 versus Central Baptist, and just this past week was re-signed by the Washington Wizards.
Points, rebounds, assists, and steals, a quadruple double. Amazing. The first in NCAA history, is that right?
Well, to keep that in perspective, as you take a look at the roster by class for the Skyhawks, they are kind of rebuilding things now after the days of Lester Hudson. They have 6 freshmen and 2 sophomores. But to put that in perspective, the Tennessee Volunteers in their long, great basketball history, of course, have never had a quadruple-double.
Yeah.
They've had only 1 triple-double, and that was from Tyler Smith just a couple of seasons ago. Ahead it comes, and a jam by Ruben Clayton. The finish, and the game's tied again.
Ruben Clayton having a nice ball game. You see his right wrist is wrapped. He played extremely well the first 5 games of the season. He was averaging nearly 20 a game. Struggled a bit the last 9 games of the season, but that wrist starting to feel a little bit better. He's starting to shoot it better. You see the athleticism on the dunk that last trip.
Rebound hauled down by Smith, and now the Skyhawks come down the floor with 3.5 minutes to play in the half and a chance to reclaim the lead.
Nice board by Dane Smith as this small UT Martin club, tallest player on the court, 6'7", out-rebounding Tennessee, 14-9 so far.
And Simmons shoots the Skyhawks back into the lead.
UT Martin, they spread the court, penetrate into the lane, able to pitch it out. Benzor Simmons, a wide-open 3. And UT Martin not going away.
Tobias Harris off the front iron. Dane Smith the rebound. 7-0 run for UT Martin right now. I think it's safe to say the folks here at Thompson Bowling Arena a little bit uneasy right now.
A little bit uneasy, and apparently Tennessee hasn't solved those issues when teams are able to slow them down, force them into a half-court game. The Vols continuing to struggle. Their defense hasn't been very strong tonight either. They're having a lot of trouble with Tennessee Martin's quickness in their shooting.
Dish to Dane Smith, rolled off the rim. Kenny Hall the rebound.
Dane Smith, a layup there. He had a defender laying at his feet, though. I think he was concerned about the landing.
Josh Bone the miss, and Dane Smith a rebound. Got hammered in the back by Cameron Tatum. All your favorite SEC sports, all your favorite SEC teams. The SEC plays on CSS with a full lineup of live football, basketball, baseball, and more. You don't want to miss out if you don't have CSS. Contact your local cable provider today. 3-point lead for the Skyhawks. They bring the ball up the floor. Now less than 2 minutes to play here in the first half, and a chance to add to their lead.
Amazing. 100-40 against Ohio State. And here they are at Thompson Bowling Arena, hanging tough for these Vols.
Shot blocked by Pearl, but Ruben Clayton got it back.
Excellent D there by Stephen Pearl. Benzor Simmons thought he could take advantage, thought he'd have an easy shot. Pearl turned him away.
From Clayton. 3 3-pointers for Clayton, 6 3-pointers for the Skyhawks. They've got a 6-point lead.
11 points in the game for Ruben Clayton as he is playing very well in this ball game tonight off that Skyhawk bench.
Barry, they nearly had, there's a jam by Jordan McRae. I was getting ready to say the Skyhawks have nearly as many points here in 19 minutes against the Volunteers as they had in 40 minutes against the Buckeyes.
UT Martin not an explosive team. They're only averaging about 68 points a game. But they're on pace to be at around 75 in this game, the way they're playing so far tonight.
Dane Smith challenges the defense, and an offensive foul on Dane Smith.
Great job by Brian Williams taking that hit. But UT Martin shooting it well from three-point range. And at the other end, you see the athleticism, the things that, you know, how many guys in America can do what Jordan McRae just did on that last trip? It's all about putting it in the basket. UT Martin's doing that with more frequency than Tennessee so far.
Clayton, another three-pointer, this time off the mark. Benzor Simmons gets the rebound, however. Shot clock is off, so the Skyhawks can play it for the final shot.
Just ridiculous that UT Martin would out-rebound Tennessee to the degree that they have in this ball game so far. Tennessee with their size, their athleticism, should not be losing the battle of the rebounds right now.
Down to 5, Terrence Smith. Williams the rebound, and that will be the end of the first half. It is a stunning first half that sees the visiting UT Martin Skyhawks, fresh off a 60-point loss at Ohio State 48 hours ago, taking a 4-point lead on Tennessee to the locker room.
UT Martin is a school that pushes you.
What could you do in a place that encourages and inspires you?
A place that doesn't teach limits, but creates possibilities.
And connects you with the best minds.
What could you change?
What could you create?
What could you become?
The University of Tennessee is dedicated to the what could happen in all our students' lives. The University of Tennessee, a place to imagine a better future and then do something about it.
Welcome to the Mountain View Nissan Supercenter in downtown Chattanooga, where the advantage is yours.
The year-end sales event is here, and it's the best time to save on new Nissans. Take advantage of the best financing available. 0% on our most popular new Nissan models. That's 0% on Altimas, Maximas, Muranos, Sentras, and many more. And we include our exclusive 10-year, 120,000-mile warranty on all new and pre-owned Nissans.
Come see us downtown at the Mountain View Nissan Supercenter, where the advantage is always yours.
'Tis the season not to make a $5,000 mistake. And during Long Hyundai's holiday wrap-up event, save up to $5,000 on every new Hyundai in stock. And wrap up a new Accent for just $99.88. Or get a new Elantra for just $99 a month. Or choose a new Sonata, just $199 a month. Plus, Long Hyundai will give you $500 in holiday cash with every purchase. Ho, ho, ho! But it ends January 3rd. And remember, Long Hyundai's Purchase Center will buy your used car even if you don't buy one of ours. Visit Long Hyundai or click us at longofchat.com.
Welcome to the award-winning Capital Toyota, Chattanooga's Toyota dealer. We're locally owned and we're Tennessee's first Toyota dealer. Before you buy, check out the new Capital Toyota, where we've earned the reputation of putting our customers first and beating any deal. Make this sports season a great one with a new or pre-owned vehicle from Capital Toyota. While you're cheering on your favorite team, you'll know you got the best vehicle at the best price. Come to the new Capital Toyota, where we make the highest quality vehicles affordable.
Is halftime at Thompson Bowling Arena, Knoxville, Tennessee, where the Volunteers trail the UT Martin Skyhawks 36-32. Matt Stewart along with Barry Booker in a stunning first half in that the Volunteers are down 4 points to a team that absolutely got run out of the gym at Ohio State 48 hours ago.
And this is a UT Martin team that's 4-9 on the season. They were 4-25 last year. Picked last in the OVC this season. They've struggled, but here tonight they've shot it very well. They have played with a lot of energy and a lot of confidence. They're giving Tennessee trouble right now.
20 minutes ago, we started this ball game, or 20 minutes ago on the game clock, started this ball game. I asked you the question, what's wrong with the Volunteers and can they fix it? Okay, I resubmit that question. What's wrong with the Volunteers and can they fix it?
Well, they're having a tough time defending UT Martin. Martin has shot the ball extremely well. I don't think UT Martin can continue to shoot the ball as well as they have so far in this ball game. But the rebounding situation, Martin out-rebounding the bigger, more athletic Tennessee Vols. The Vols have to crank up their intensity level, really get after it defensively, and just take charge of this ball game. They're capable. We'll see if they can do it.
6 3-pointers for the Skyhawks in the first half and a 17-12 rebounding edge. It is kind of mind-boggling right now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Tennessee just has to crank it up. I expect them to come out with a lot of fire. Coach Pearl is peeling the paint in his locker room right now, trying to get his club going.
Well, you know what? Good for the Skyhawks. They have played well in the first 20 minutes. They've got a 4-point lead on Tennessee here at halftime.
The passion we feel as SEC fans runs deep, spreads far and wide. Everything we say is heard. Everything we do is watched. Our actions make lasting impressions for generations. When the game ends, what really matters is how we represent our team, how we respect our opponent, and how we honor the game. Sportsmanship outlasts any game clock. Sportsmanship spans a lifetime.
How durable is Quaker State? We just tested Quaker State motor oil that had driven thousands of miles in New York City taxis. And even when it was ready to be replaced, that used Quaker State still passed the wear protection,
rust protection, and viscosity retention tests for brand new oil. Extra protection when you need it most. That's Quaker State. Real, durable oil.
Hey, everyone's eating tacos outside Bill's office. Don't you think that's some information I would like to know? I like tacos. You invited Eric? I thought Eric gave you the creeps. Oh. Yeah. Hey.
Don't be left behind. Get it first with AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, period. Rethink possible.
Enough of this HD talk from those satellite guys. Let's get some things straight. Comcast has more HD than satellite. More favorite shows in HD. More movies in HD. And oh yeah, Comcast has 2,600 on-demand choices in HD, which is way more than satellite. Plus tons of live sports. All the best channels, all in HD. Bottom line, Comcast always has more HD than satellite.
Tune in every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern for Championship Boxing on CSS.
Welcome back. It is halftime at Thompson Bowling Arena as the Tennessee Volunteers take on the UT Martin Skyhawks. You know, it's not often that you can pull a coach away from the floor and get his take on subjects other than the normal X's and O's. Right now, head coach Bruce Pearl talks about SEC basketball and a little bit more.
SEC basketball is a nightmare, okay? You want to go to Rupp Arena every year and play. You want to play Kentucky twice, Florida twice. You want to play in Memorial Gymnasium. It's an absolute nightmare. Thompson Bowling Arena is by far my favorite venue to play in the SEC. The Vols are 5-0 against the top 5 in the country over the last 5 years. We're a tough place to play. Other than my home court, my favorite place to play is Rupp Arena. Rupp Arena is hallowed ground. You've got some of the most knowledgeable, historically accomplished fans in all of college basketball. It's not so important that my teams go to Rupp and win, but that my teams go to Rupp and represent. The first name that jumps into my mind is Rick Pitino, maybe because he's had my number. I've only had the pleasure of going up against him twice, and I promise you, neither time was it a 2-point game with 10 seconds left to go, but he owns me. The challenges that mid-major teams face, I would say, are turned into strengths. Mid-major teams have got to sit there and watch their in-state big brothers, places that they weren't recruited to, play. And they're just chomping at the bit for the opportunity to get to them. And you know when they get to them? Not always during the regular season. Sometimes it's during the big dance, during the NCAA tournament. And those guys are the ones you want to stay away from the most.
That's Tennessee coach Bruce Pearl tonight going for his 135th win as the head coach of the Volunteers. Tune into Sports Night for extensive basketball coverage from our pro and college experts. Tune in Mondays for College Insight from former Georgia Tech Lethal Weapon 3-star Brian Oliver, and get the latest in the NBA on Tuesdays from his Lethal Weapon 3 partner, Dennis Scott. Sports Night live every weeknight at 6 Eastern, 5 Central on CSS. Halftime at Thompson Bowling Arena. We'll come back with first half highlights right after this timeout.
Know them now. Did you know them then?
Don't miss out again.
Watch In the Huddle Recruiting Edition for in-depth analysis, the most current recruit rankings, and the latest news on who's going where.
So join me, Matt Stewart, throughout the recruiting season.
And me, Barton Simmons, as we take you all the way to signing day.
Tune in to In the Huddle Recruiting Edition each week here on CSS.
In the Huddle Recruiting Edition, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on CSS.
It's time to hug a rug at Carpets of Dalton. It's our huge annual holiday rug sale. And wait till you see the selection. Show the love with all sizes and styles of area rugs. From traditional to contemporary, floral to children's, custom rugs, solids, borders, and much more. Choose from over 3,000 rugs in all styles and colors. From the top name brands in the industry to dramatic closeouts, you'll find exactly what you want. Guaranteed lowest prices on the best floor covering in the world. Hug a rug today at the Carpets of Dalton.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Does a former drill sergeant make a terrible therapist?
And that's why yellow makes me sad, I think.
That's interesting. You know what makes me sad? You do! Maybe we should chug on over to Mamby-Pamby land where maybe we can find some self-confidence for you, you jackwagon! Tissue? Cry, baby.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
What are you doing?
I am on vacation.
Vacation from what?
From shopping.
You can't take a vacation from shopping. We've got to go to the mall and get gifts for Aunt Millie and Uncle Jay.
We can just shop from right here on Wise Buys.
That's right, Wise Buys.
Find the best in products and services for yourself, your family, and your friends at Wise Buys, where shopping smart is the whole idea.
You're right. This is much better than the mall.
Yep.
Halftime here at Thompson Bowling Arena, and that score is correct. UT Martin leading Tennessee by a score of 36-32 after the Skyhawks, Barry, simply about played the Volunteers in the first 20 minutes.
They have shot the ball extremely well. A 17-12 advantage from a rebounding standpoint. UT Martin playing extremely well so far in this ball game tonight.
All right, let's check out the Southeastern Conference scoreboard on this Wednesday night, the final Wednesday night of 2010. Hard to believe. Just one score to report right now. South Carolina leading Jacksonville State. That's another Ohio Valley Conference team. The Gamecocks just 2-11 on the season, and the Gamecocks of South Carolina lead the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State by 7. Georgia Southern at Auburn, North Carolina A&T at Arkansas, LSU, Rice, Marquette, Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State still out on the road, believe it or not, at St. Mary's tonight. Let's take a look at the first half highlights, and a steady dose of the Skyhawks and their three-point shooting, I bet, is about to come your way.
Yeah, UT Martin shot it very well. Ruben Clayton knocking home some three-point shots in this ball game, getting out in the open court. He had 11 points in the ball game for Tennessee. Scotty Hobson led the way, got off to a good start, knocked down a three-point shot, a couple of three-point shots in this ball game. He has 12 points and a great block shot there as well, as Hobson has played well, but so far, Martin's up by 4.
A surprising first half. Will the second half be just as surprising? 4-point lead for the Skyhawks here at the break.
Let's go, Bighorns!
Every thrilling moment is ready for you. Welcome to the SEC Digital Network. Content delivery that defines innovation, social connectivity, and instant access to your SEC. The SEC Digital Network.
Sir, we're picking something up.
It's Xfinity from Comcast.
We can handle this. We got more HD, right?
Xfinity has thousands of HD choices on demand, on TV, and now, online.
So what do we do now?
The HD war is over. Xfinity has 10 times more HD than satellite. Sign up now to add HD service for a great price. Call now.
If saving money is your New Year's resolution, come to the 2016 New Year's event at Ashley Furniture Home Store. No interest until January 2016, or take 16% off your entire purchase. Only at Ashley Furniture Home Store, where saving money matters.
Welcome to the award-winning Capital Toyota, Chattanooga's Toyota dealer. We're locally owned and we're Tennessee's first Toyota dealer. Before you buy, check out the new Capital Toyota. We've earned the reputation of putting our customers first and beating any deal. Make this sports season a great one with a new or pre-owned vehicle at Capital Toyota. While you're cheering on your favorite team, you'll know you got the best vehicle at the best price. Come to the new Capital Toyota, where we make the highest quality vehicles affordable.
This is our very best finance offer, and through this Monday, it's yours too. No interest until January 2016, or take 16% off your entire purchase. The 2016 New Year's event, only at Ashley Furniture Home Store, where saving money matters.
Start of the second half, UT Martin leading Tennessee 36-32. As the old saying goes, Barry, to be a fly on the wall in that locker room as you take a look at the first half stat sheet. And Reuben Clayton with 11 points. He scored 13 against Ohio State on Monday, 11 in the first half here against the Volunteers. Scotty Hobson, an early 12, and then kind of got lost in the flow.
Yeah, a lot of different players on the court for Tennessee in the first half. A little bit tough to get into a rhythm for their starters. But I expect the Vols to have a lot of activity around the rim here as we get into this second half.
And I think that goes back to a point that we made in the first half. Are the Volunteers playing too many guys? I mean, They had so many guys. It's almost like Grand Central Station out there. So many guys coming in and out. I don't know, but UT Martin maybe with a little bit shorter rotation. The bottom line is UT Martin is playing lights out compared to what they played against Ohio State on Monday night, and Tennessee just has to play better if they want to win this game.
A different group of players on the court for Tennessee to start the second half. Kenny Hall getting the start. Tobias Harris getting the start here in the second half after not starting the game. Missing a couple of days of practice due to the travel issues.
Hobson, Goings, and Tatum, the only starters starting the second half. And Terrence Smith got fouled by Tatum on that jump shot. That's going to be number 2 on Cameron Tatum.
Well, this is fine defense right up until he reaches in and hacks it. You force him to pick up his dribble. It's going to be a very difficult 15-foot shot. Just contest it. Rebound it, and you're on your way. But Cameron Tatum makes the error. First foul shot for UT Martin here. Terrence Smith can't convert on the first one.
As I mentioned earlier, he had a career-high 20 points against Murray State. And that's a big barometer game for this UT Martin ball club. Murray State, the class of the OVC recently, and they had a 9-point lead in the second half against Murray State, against the Racers, before losing that ball game to fall to 0-3 in the OVC. But it was a step in the right direction for this young Skyhawks program as Goings hits the jumper to start the second half.
Nicely done inside out. Kenny Hall on the feed to Melvin Goins. Good cut by Goins. Balls look like they have a bit more energy here, but not really applying that defensive pressure that I thought we might see as we get into the second half.
Looks like the Vols are extending their defense a little bit, trying to turn up the pressure somewhat on this Skyhawks team. Troy Keene gets inside the defense, lost the dribble. Bad idea for Troy Keene to get in there. Maybe got in a little bit too deep and didn't have a game plan with the ball.
Fortunate to retain possession for the Skyhawks with 4 seconds on the shot clock now.
Trouble with the inbounds. 5-second violation, couldn't get it in time. So you can see already Tennessee has a little bit more purpose on defense here in the opening 1.5 minutes of the second half than they did maybe in the 20 prior in the first half.
Nobody does it better on those out-of-bounds situations in Tennessee, forcing those turnovers. Here we are, half court at a time, slow pace to this ball game, right at the pace that UT Martin wants to play.
And Tatum with the layup. Volunteers within 1.
And more activity around the rim. Cameron Tatum, the easy lay-in. Tennessee took it inside on their last trip down the court. The Vols a little more active getting the ball inside here in the second half so far. It's Tatum a little pump fake and driving around, and UT Martin in their 3-2 zone defense not able to rotate over and cut Tatum off on the way to the basket.
And a timeout called here by Jason Jones as they get into some trouble over there in the corner. Still a 1-point game, but the Volunteers may be making a move.
In the SEC, there are 12 teams, all with one goal, a championship. And there's one place to watch all of them take their best shot. All your favorite sports, all your favorite teams. The SEC plays on CSS. Visit css-sports.com for upcoming SEC games.
Previously on CSI Miami.
It was freaky. I mean, the guy goes out a glass window. I mean, just like this one right here. CSI shows up, they're suspicious because jumpers don't jump through glass. CSI guys are going nuts, just dumping rounds into buildings. It's like, yeah, don't. Then,
okay, I'm gonna have to go to bed now.
Everywhere. That guy gets hit.
See it for yourself. Watch CSI Miami for free along with hundreds of other shows whenever, wherever. Fancast or TV online.
The SEC Tournament and Merita Bread, two Southern classics, are teaming up to give you a shot at attending the big game. Introducing the Merita Southern Classic Sweepstakes, your chance to win a VIP trip for two to the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament in Atlanta. Enter today at MeritaBreads.com, but hurry, because time is running out. Merita, the official bread of the SEC. Sweepstakes ends March 31st. See MeritaBreads.com for details.
And now, another expert tip from one of our Sports Night sports experts.
Hi, I'm Brian Oliver, your Sports Night college basketball expert. And my expert tip is a solid team and a great game plan lead to a slam dunk every time.
For more expert advice, catch our experts and our lineup of Sports Night hosts. Weeknights at 6 and 11, only on CSS and only on cable.
UT Martin still leading this one. The lead now down to 1 point here in the opening 2 minutes of the second half. While you watch tonight's game on CSS, you can follow it on Twitter. Tweet me at Matt_Stewart CSS. You can also follow the CSS network on Facebook. A look at the first team All-SEC preseason media poll. You will not find a member of the Tennessee Volunteers on that first team, although Scotty Hobson made the first team in the coaches' vote.
Yeah, I got two Georgia Bulldogs in that group, and it'll be a very interesting year. Kentucky looking very solid right now. Vanderbilt with a very good team. Georgia and Florida, along with Tennessee. Looks like the East is the class of the conference once again this year.
Yeah, you're not kidding. You see Kentucky and Georgia 10-2, Vanderbilt 9-2, Florida 9-3, Tennessee at 8-3, and South Carolina at 7-3. Those are your 6 teams in the SEC Eastern Division. Meantime, in the SEC West, there are 4 teams over on that side who have RPIs 200 or higher.
And that is going to be a problem for all the other teams in the league. They're trying to make the NCAA tournament. Having to go to a place like Auburn or LSU, a team with a low RPI, not going to help you, even if you win those games.
Irazabal hits the jumper. Nice. Skyhawks are still over 50% shooting for the game.
Executing very well. They have the open middle of the court, and they're able to take advantage of all that space, get good shots on their offensive possessions.
Foul's going to be called here on the Skyhawks. It will be on Irazabal. Cameron Tatum at the line here for the Volunteers. Tatum shooting 74.5% from the free throw line. Injured his ribs in their last game against Belmont, diving for a loose ball over on the bench, and that opened the door for Jordan McRae to play a career-high 19 minutes in that ball game.
And even after the Christmas break, the Vols took 3 days off, and most of the players headed home during that period, but Cameron Tatum still not able to practice the first day back for Tennessee on Monday.
Yeah, they had 6 players that were not back in time for that Monday practice. 2 because of injury, and then 4 because of travel problems just across the country. The blizzard that hit the Northeast causing a domino effect across the country. Not all of them were in the Northeast. They just couldn't get back because all the flights were canceled or postponed, delayed, whatever you want to call it. Troy King traveling. Eighth turnover on the Skyhawks.
Once you leave your feet, you have to pass or shoot the basketball. You can't start the dribble.
He was passing it to himself,
Yes.
just bouncing it off the floor. Bounce pass to himself.
That's the illegal maneuver. You mentioned all the players that have missed some practice time. We haven't seen Skylar McBee tonight and probably won't. He has flu-like symptoms. Missed practice the last couple of days.
He did participate in the shoot-around today. But basically had 5 days off. Not that he wanted 5 days off, but 3 for the holidays, and then he came back and he had the flu. So he's a little rusty.
Tobias Harris bringing the ball in bounds, a little rusty as well. 2 points for him in the ball game, a couple of turnovers.
Fields stayed with it. John Fields, the senior transfer, came in from Wilmington. Started his career at East Carolina. Tied at 39 in the opening 3.5 minutes of the second half.
Ball's turning it on defensively here. The crowd trying to get into it as well.
Dane Smith fouled on the shot. He'll go to the line for a chance at the three-point play.
How about Dane Smith? 8 rebounds in the first half. And here, a very strong finish. Dane Smith only 6'3", doing a great job on the backboards in this ball game and plays in a very physical fashion. Uses his body well and aggressive going after the basketball, and there a nice three-point play to quiet this crowd and give Martin the three-point edge again.
42-39, UT Martin. And again, you kind of get the impression the crowd is another nice crowd here at Thompson-Boling Arena, expecting at any moment for the Volunteers to blow this game open. The Skyhawks have just not allowed that to happen. Goings for the tie. Long rebound goes to Dane Smith. Slips and falls down. He's in trouble. Got rid of it. Terrence Smith. Ahead to Reuben Clayton. He had the hot hand in the first half. Terrence Smith working against Tatum. Rebound is yanked down by Tobias Harris. Had it stolen away by Dane Smith. And then Tobias Harris pays him back. We still have a ball game, folks, and we still have an upset in the making.
Every thrilling moment is ready for you. Welcome to the SEC Digital Network. Content delivery that defines innovation, social connectivity, and instant access to your SEC. The SEC Digital Network.
In college basketball, it's all about how it stacks up. Every game builds up to the dream, and the best place to see college basketball in the South is CSS. Over 175 live college basketball games, men's and women's matchups from the SEC, the ACC, Conference USA, the Sun Belt, and more, all on one channel. College basketball in the South is on CSS.
Previously on NCIS.
Can't believe you didn't watch it. Ziva is in really hot water. She's very disturbed about Michael's death, but she's also ticked off at Tony because apparently he was the one that killed Mike or whatever, some love triangle. All right, so they go back, whatever. Ziva's like, oh, can you keep up with me? And Tony's like, shh, can I keep up with you? But it turns out he really couldn't because he didn't know how to run that fast. She's running or whatever. Okay, they try to blow up the car, blah, blah.
See it for yourself. Watch NCIS for free along with hundreds of other shows, whenever, wherever. Fancast, or TV online.
They've got something in store for everyone, too.
And all preseason long, we've been hearing about the
Hey, where are you going? What, are you turning off the show?
Well, we're just about to preview the best games in the ACC. Brian Oliver's going to join us.
And then we're going to preview tonight's big SEC game.
But I'm going to the game.
You'll be sure to tune in the rest of the week, though, right?
You got it.
CSS brings Southern sports fans shows you can't see anyplace else. Only on cable. Only CSS and CSS-sports.com.
Nice hat.
Tonight's game on CSS is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com.
UT Martin ahead by 3 here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and that is Danny Walker James, the coach's wife. We're keeping it all in the family here at UT Martin. This is her last game as the trainer for UT Martin, as she is 8 months pregnant. She and Coach James expecting their first child here around the 1st of March after getting married in May. A lot of exciting activity for Coach Jason James and Danny James and their new family there at Martin, Tennessee. We got an exciting event going on the court right now as Martin trying to pull the upset here in Knoxville against big brother UT.
Three-pointer on the way. Rebound controlled by Irazabal. Shot deflected out of bounds. It'll belong to the Skyhawks.
About our guy, Dane Smith, keeping things alive for UT Martin. The little guy, only 6'3", but he is getting after the offensive boards for UT Martin, helping them get some extra possessions.
Terrence Smith brings it out to the top now. 4 blocks for the Volunteers here tonight. There's Dane Smith again, and he got tied up by McRae. Jump ball called. Possession arrow pointing in favor of the Volunteers. That's going to be a turnover.
Well, we're seeing some spurts of solid defense and defensive intensity for Tennessee, but the Vols are struggling at the defensive end of the court, having trouble guarding the smaller, quicker UT Martin club. They're struggling on the backboards, not rebounding well against this smaller UT Martin ball club. And the Vols better wake up and crank it up in a hurry. This thing is going to come down to the wire.
Hobson frees himself from the defense, splits the defender, lost the ball. Aforementioned problem again. Shot swatted out of bounds. Libo lobbed it up there, and the Volunteers spiked it out of bounds.
Well, you can see UT Martin, they don't have guys that can do that. Go up.
They were
well
fighting over
the rim.
They were fighting over the opportunity to block that one. Inbounds play, Ruben Clayton. So a great defensive play, spectacular block, and then they failed on the execution on the basic inbounds.
Yeah, you let a guy shake loose. You let Martin's leading scorer, Ruben Clayton, get loose for a wide open layup. And UT Martin up by 5.
Hobson, three-pointer on its way. Hits the bottom of the net.
Big one for Hobson. UT really needed that basket. Scotty Hobson showing some leadership, banging one home.
Clayton left that one short. Balls come down the floor, a chance to tie or take the lead. Ball knocked out of bounds. Fresh substitutions in for the Volunteers. Melvin Goins is in the ball game, as is Mayman and Tatum as well. Foul's going to be called on the Skyhawks. I believe this is on Clayton. So Clayton is whistled for his first foul. Second team foul on the Skyhawks, who continue to lead 6 minutes into the second half. And a hard foul on Irazabal.
One of the best things that Tennessee has done so far this season is get to the foul line. They've done a phenomenal job attacking the basket, drawing fouls, scoring points from the line. And Martin has controlled that so far in this ball game tonight. Kept Tennessee from getting foul shots. A couple of quick fouls here on this trip down the court. We'll see if Tennessee can work their way into the bonus and get some shots from the line, get some points from the line.
And Troy King is called for the foul. Be sure to check out Talkin' Hoops on CSS starting in January. It's an exciting, in-depth look at college basketball from top-notch experts who know the game best. Talkin' Hoops, coming next month. Maimon swings it around in the corner to Hobson. Hobson on the drive, and we're tied at 44.
I think Tennessee can drive along the baseline against this 3-2 zone. They've had some success doing that. Need to continue to attack the zone in that way, putting it on the floor along the baseline.
8th tie in this ball game. Bodies go falling. This is going to be fouled on Fields. Scotty Hobson now with 17 points in the game.
Having an excellent ball game. He's shooting it well from deep. He's getting to the basket, involving his teammates, not turning it over. Jeanette's boy is having a good ball game so far tonight in this one.
13 minutes to play. Game still tied. We're at 44. Leiva gets it back to Simmons. Simmons shoots the three over the top of Hobson. Knocked it down.
Benzor Simmons, only a 24% three-point shooter. Very confident with that one. Strokes that one home over Scotty Hobson.
7 3-pointers for the Skyhawks here tonight.
All right, Tennessee is not having their best game tonight. UT Martin playing, I think, a bit over their heads, shooting the ball extremely well so far in this ball game. That's the situation you have. Tennessee Martin coming in here against the University of Tennessee, the SEC team. They get all the attention. Martin trying to make a name for themselves here in this building against Big Brother.
Simmons the rebound for the Skyhawks. Simmons, number 8 rebounder in the Ohio Valley, averages 6 boards per game. Do you think perhaps Tennessee saw that 100-40 score and they're thinking, wow, this is going to be an easy game?
I believe they did. I think they did. And I think everybody thought, okay, this is finally a breather, finally a chance for us to kind of have an easy game. We'll get everybody in there and have a walkover tonight, but it's not happening.
Clayton, shot clock violation on the Skyhawks. That did not touch the rim.
I'm not sure about that. I think that one may have nipped the front of the rim, but the violation, the Vols get possession.
The SEC delivers quality athletics. We deliver quality food and drinks. Talk about a dream team.
It takes someone special to wear a college football uniform. Besides a passion for the game itself, it requires dedicated commitment, intense preparation, and pure, raw talent. But we're not talking about what players wear. We're talking about what fans wear. Little ones like these. And they're really into it.
Mascot wear.
Is your computer running slowly? Thinking about buying a new one? Don't waste your money. Your computer could be infected with spyware, malware, viruses, or you could be experiencing registry errors, spam, and pop-ups. With new technology, you no longer need a technician to come to your home or drop your computer at some store. Get a free diagnosis at maxmyspeed.com and find out in minutes what's slowing down your computer.
They were able to diagnose it and solve our problem. It's at least 100% to 150% quicker than before.
My computer runs twice as fast.
The computer has run so much quicker. It's safer, it's faster, it's more secure.
My computer is 100% faster than it was prior. All I could say is, I'm a raving fan. This is unbelievable.
Go to maxmyspeed.com right now for your free diagnosis and find out in minutes what's slowing down your computer. That's maxmyspeed.com for your free diagnosis.
47-44, Jason Jones' team trying to pull off a huge upset here in the 4th ever meeting between these two teams. And Barry, did that ball graze the front iron?
It nipped the front of the rim.
It did. It absolutely did.
The ball's trajectory changed as it went past the rim, came break down almost. UT Martin out-rebounding Tennessee 26-16, 11 offensive rebounds.
How is that possible?
That's ridiculous. It should never happen in this with Tennessee's size, strength advantage around the basket. I don't know. They got to crank up the intensity. The Vols in trouble in this contest.
You see home games versus non-SEC teams this season, 5-2. You see the record for Bruce Pearl, only 2 losses ever. I think Gonzaga was one of them that snapped their long winning streak here at Thompson-Boling Arena. Troy King, that's going to be an offensive foul, lowered his shoulder.
Yeah, Tennessee is 41-4 in non-conference games in Thompson-Boling Arena. They've lost 2 this year, as we see Troy King with the push-off there. Tennessee lost to Gonzaga and Memphis, I believe, coming into this year, and now they have losses to Oakland and USC in non-conference games this year.
Kenny Hall got the bucket. He'll go to the line, a chance to tie the game.
That's the advantage for Tennessee. Around that rim where they have all that size, UT Martin will have no ability to contest the Vols once they get it around the basket. Kenny Hall, the easy lay-in there, draws the foul. We'll see if the Vols can continue to pound it around the basket and then just go rebound it. All this size, they should be able to do a lot of damage within a few feet of the rim at both ends of the court.
You see Kenny Hall, only 2.7 points per game in limited action. Fails on the opportunity, but the Volunteers get the ball back, so a double possession in essence here and a chance to claim the lead. Tatum for the lead. Mayman underneath gives him the lead.
There we go. The big guys for Tennessee starting to assert themselves. Mayman and Hall, both with easy lay-ins. Vols take the lead again. And the possession.
Our 5th lead change, and then Goins forces the turnover.
A 4-point trip for Tennessee. Hall gets the basket and the foul. Tennessee gets the offensive board off the missed free throw, and Mayman the lay-in. The Vols surge ahead.
Three-second violation. Kenny Hall
yes.
got camped out in the lane. 8th turnover for the Volunteers here tonight. They've cut down on that number. They've been averaging 15 turnovers per game, which is 9th in the conference.
Tennessee not playing at a very fast pace. That 15 turnovers, a big number and a big problem for these Vols. Turning it over that much, playing at the pace that they played at for most of this pre-conference schedule.
Mayman had his hands on Simmons, so that's the first foul on him. And team foul number 4 on the Volunteers. We'll see if the Skyhawks can rally back here. Simmons rimmed out. Mayman the rebound, clears to Goins.
Skyhawks shooting percentage coming down a bit, having a little bit more trouble knocking them home from long range here in the second half.
Pass was touched last, apparently, by the Skyhawks. Get this week's top college football recruiting news from Barton Simmons and myself. Watch In the Huddle Recruiting Edition Fridays at 7 o'clock Eastern on CSS. Join us this Friday night as we name our 2010 All-CSS Prospect Team.
Baseline drives have been effective for Tennessee, as well as passing it to their big guys around the basket. We'll see if the Vols can get to that. Shot clock way down.
Tatum with 3 on the clock. And Dane Smith, another rebound. He's got 10 here tonight.
6'3" and dominating the backboards in this ballgame.
The runner left short. Clayton couldn't get it to fall that time. Now the lid on the basket for the Skyhawks right now. Tatum goes all the way through and james it.
went a long way after his final dribble, but Cameron Tatum able to get the slam for Tennessee, and the ball is starting to take control of this ball game.
3-point lead for the Volunteers.
Only 11 points so far in this second half for UT Martin. Tennessee has turned the screws on these Skyhawks here defensively.
Meantime, the Vols are in the midst of an 11-3 run right now. Simmons drives out of control and still is able to dish it off to Dane Smith. Well, looked like he was out of control, but apparently he wasn't.
Stepping over bodies, but able to find Dane Smith in an easy basket for UT Martin as they really needed that one.
Goins kicks to the corner. Tatum spin move and a blocking foul is going to be called on Dane Smith. Tatum trying to ignite the crowd here and ignite his teammates.
Went a long way, a long way after that final dribble, but Cameron Tatum able to weave through the defense, slam it home. Tennessee a 1-point edge, and Tatum trying to extend that here from the line.
Well, Dane Smith tonight has well exceeded his career high for rebounds. His previous career high, 7 against Eastern Kentucky. He's 3 above that number right now with plenty of time left to play. There's Dane Smith with his hands on the ball, gives it up to Simmons.
You see the open court. Not much activity in the middle of the lane for UT Martin. So a lot of room to drive it to the basket. A lot of room to cut to the basket.
Nice pass, Terrence Simmons. Irazabal missed it, however. He was right there. They can't miss those opportunities. Goins dishes, Hobson foul. And apparently the violation was on the Volunteers and not the Skyhawks. I thought a foul was being called on the Scouts, and that'll be a turnover here on the Volunteers.
UT Martin, they look a little bit weary here of late. Tennessee using a lot of players. The Skyhawks not nearly as deep a bench. Like UT Martin starting to wear down a little bit as the Vols have tried to continue to apply the defensive pressure here in the second half.
7 on the shot clock. Terrence Smith on the drive. Shot blocked. Another block, that one by John Fields, but Trey Golden could not save it from going out of bounds. 6th block for the Vols here tonight. And with 7 minutes and 32 seconds to play, Tennessee holding on to a 1-point lead.
Ready for your talk, sir?
Just going over how Geico helps people save in even more ways. With good driver discounts, multi-car discounts, defensive driver discounts.
You! Oh, don't act like you don't recognize me. Toledo? 03?
No, it's...
It's too late, Stanley.
Actually, miss, my name's not Stanley.
Oh. Oh, I am so sorry. From behind you look just like him. I'm just...
Well, I'd hate to be Stanley.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15%.
The campus is rocking for the holidays. Don't let the recession fool you. We're not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, we have to make room for new inventory. So we're having a $10 million inventory reduction on furniture and flooring. Save up to 70% throughout the campus. Sofas for as low as $3.99. Area rugs start at just $1.99. No reasonable offer will be refused. It has to go. We're moving this inventory now so we don't have to pay tax on it at the end of the year. And get 12 months interest-free financing for this special event. The $10 million inventory reduction on the amazing Carpets of Dalton campus.
We're under attack by termites. We're fighting back with Centricon. Here's how it works. The termites attack the Centricon stations inside of your space station, exposing themselves to an agent that targets their underground colony. The colony goes, ah!
Call Cooks to see how affordable it is to upgrade to Centricon's proven protection. The inspection is free.
Centricon rules, right, Commander Chuck?
You are one smart kid, Lewis.
Cooks Pest Control.
50-49, Tennessee leading UT Martin by 1 with 7:32 to play. The Volunteers are making this a habit of playing tight ball games all the way down to the end. Their last against Belmont. The Bruins had a chance to pull off the upset here until Scotty Hobson took over in the final seconds.
The Vols have played 3 one-point games in a row. Hobson's layup there gave the Vols the 1-point edge. So a couple of lead changes. Right at the end of that ball game, the Bruins couldn't get the desperation three-point shot to go. The Vols escaped, but they lost the 2 one-point games before that to USC and to UNC Charlotte. And this one tight as well, a one-point game with 7.5 to play.
And in both of those ball games, the Volunteers ended up missing shots at the buzzer that could have beaten the 49ers and the Trojans. You see, UT Martin shot 29% from the floor for the game against Ohio State. That is what they've shot here against the Volunteers in the second half, as head coach Jason James trying to get himself a signature victory for his program. They have, whether they win here or not, I think it's a moral victory for them to come in here and play the way they have after losing the way they did at Ohio State on Monday night.
This should be a confidence builder for UT Martin coming here against an SEC opponent, an upper echelon SEC opponent, and play them down to the wire. But UT Martin not thinking about moral victories right now. They're wanting to get the W.
The tip in by Fields. But I think it says a lot about Jason James' team that they would be able to respond. I mean, I think like most everybody here at Thompson-Boling Arena, the thought was, wow, this team's going to come in and lay down after getting beat by 60, and they have done anything but that.
Yeah, this is a decent ball club here. Some talent, 6 freshmen on this team. This UT Martin club should improve as the year goes.
Blocking foul is going to be called on John Fields, and that's what Jason James told us as we talked to him this week. He felt like they got better. As you take a look at the blocking foul here on John Fields, they got better from their second OVC game to their third. They lost to Eastern Kentucky, and then they came back and played Murray State well, and he hopes the improvement continues when they play their next conference game on Monday night against SEMO, Southeast Missouri.
And that, of course, what Jason James is pointing toward for this UT Martin club, to play well as we get into February and get toward that OVC conference tournament. OVC almost always only a one-bid league. You win that conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament. And I think Jason James thinking about building this program, having success toward the end of the year, and then looking toward the next year.
Well, how about Ruben Clayton keeping the Skyhawks in the game? His 3 from the corner ties us at 52. Clayton with 16 points tonight. Foul's going to be called on the Skyhawks. Now it's going to put Tobias Harris at the line.
Tennessee starting to make things happen in the paint, around the basket. Tobias Harris, only 2 points. Missed practice the last couple of days. He didn't get the start. Was not heard to inquire. What are we talking about, man? Practice?
No, he didn't do that.
No.
Well, Coach Pearl feels like Tobias, coming off his most productive game as a Volunteers against Belmont, had 17 points. He was 8 of 10 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, a career high 5 steals. Missed the second free throw there, so it's just a 1-point game.
Another rebound for Dane Smith.
4 above his career high now. Previous career high, we should say. Five and a half minutes to play. Skyhawks gunning for an upset, and Clayton knocks down another three-pointer. 5 threes for Clayton tonight, 19 points, and the Skyhawks lead by 2.
And not a very good pass. Ruben Clayton in the corner, didn't get a very good delivery from Terrence Smith, had to continue to move to his left. Kenny Hall came out to challenge the shot. But Ruben Clayton drilling another jumper. UT Martin back on top.
You know, and you are the resident expert shooter at this table. I concede that to you since you're the number 1 in the clubhouse three-point shooter in Vanderbilt history. How about his shot?
It's solid. You know, I talked about the wrist injury that he has. He has that the tape on his right wrist. And he was averaging nearly 20 points a game after 5 games of play, but Ruben Clayton has fallen off here lately. Performance not quite as strong after suffering that wrist injury, but he seems to be solid, strong with that shooting stroke once again, and confident with it. And his club has a chance to pull off a W here against the Vols.
He's 5 for 10 behind the arc tonight. They're looking to get him the ball if they can. There it is. Being guarded by Goins.
Don't want to go against that defender. Can I get a switch, please?
Dean Smith now 5 on the shot clock. Terrence Smith, long three-pointer, off back iron, rebound controlled by Kenny Hall. They sling it ahead to Pearl. Dishing to Tobias Harris.
Nicely done by Stephen Pearl. Had a chance to throw a bad pass to Scotty Hobson at the rim. Waited for Tobias Harris to cut through. Nicely done by Tennessee. The surge back ahead as this game seesaws.
Jason James calls a timeout after our 7th lead change. Puts the Volunteers back in front by 2.
UT Martin hanging tough. Ruben Clayton carrying things for UT Martin, banging home a couple of three-point shots. Tennessee Martin is having a tough time scoring against Tennessee through a bunch of this second half. Clayton has opened things up. Benzor Simmons had a three-point shot go down at the start of that package. UT Martin hanging in, struggling here in the second half, though, especially from three-point range.
Well, both the Skyhawks and the Volunteers have hit 22 field goals in this ball game. The Skyhawks have hit 9 threes to Tennessee's 5. The difference there comes where the Volunteers have hit 8 free throws, while the Skyhawks are only 2 of 3 at the line.
Yeah, Tennessee, a lot more activity around the basket here in the second half. They've worked their way to the foul line a few more times. A scant 2-point edge right now against these UT Martin Skyhawks.
They get the ball into the hands of Ruben Clayton. 19 sizzling points for the Skyhawks tonight. 10 on the shot clock. Terrence Smith working against Goins, and traveling is the call. 13 turnovers now for UT Martin.
Better defense here in the second half from Tennessee. UT Martin struggling to score. I think we need to see Benzor Simmons and some of the more explosive offensive players for UT Martin on the court. They are really laboring to score.
Option to miss. Long rebound comes to Clayton. Clayton going against Goins. Draws the contact. And Clayton's going to be at the foul line. 3 minutes, 46 seconds to play. Volunteers hanging on for dear life.
What defines a champion? Courage, character, drive, teamwork, dedication. These are the virtues of heroes. And as we hope for the best in them, hope is reborn in us. The SEC is proud to honor and support the athletes of Special Olympics. Be inspired. Be a fan.
'Tis the season not to make a $5,000 mistake. And during Long Hyundai's holiday wrap-up event, save up to $5,000 on every new Hyundai in stock. And wrap up a new Accent for just $99.88. Or get a new Elantra for just $99 a month. Or choose a new Sonata, just $199 a month. Plus, Long Hyundai will give you $500 in holiday cash with every purchase. Ho, ho, ho! But it ends January 3rd. And remember, Long Hyundai's Purchase Center will buy your used car even if you don't buy one of ours. Visit Long Hyundai or click us at longofchat.com.
Welcome to the award-winning Capital Toyota, Chattanooga's Toyota dealer. We're locally owned and we're Tennessee's first Toyota dealer. Before you buy, check out the new Capital Toyota, where we've earned the reputation of putting our customers first and beating any dealer. Make this sports season a great one with a new or pre-owned vehicle at Capital Toyota. While you're cheering on your favorite team, you'll know you got the best vehicle at the best price. Come to the new Capital Toyota, where we make the highest quality vehicles affordable.
The O'Reilly World of Wheels Custom Auto Show at Chattanooga Convention Center, January 7th, 8th, and 9th. See the hottest rods and coolest custom cars, trucks, and bikes. Appearing all 3 days, meet WWF Hall of Famer, $1 Million Man, and Virgil, the Legends of Wrestling. Bring the kids to meet their friends Scooby-Doo and Kids World. And see the amazing stunts by the On the Edge stunt team. Plus, Saturday only, meet Freddie from Nickelodeon's iCarly. Discount tickets on sale now at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Kids only $5, under 6 is free. For all the details, go to worldofwheels.info.
57-55 with 3 minutes, 46 seconds left in regulation here at Thompson-Boling Arena. And we started the night, Barry, by pointing out the great start for the Volunteers, 7-0, ranked in the top 10 of the nation. Having lost 3 of their last 4, you see the difference in the numbers, and that theme has continued here tonight.
Yeah, the defensive troubles that the Vols have had tonight. UT Martin, their shooting percentage has come down dramatically here in the second half. They were 52% in the first half. Now on the game, UT Martin down to 44%. The Vols cranking it up defensively, but UT Martin gained a lot of confidence through that first half. They led by 4 at the half after being blown out on Monday night, 100-40 by Ohio State. Tennessee allowed them to get off to a good start, to build some confidence, and UT Martin has given themselves a chance to win this ball game. We are down to win in time these last few moments of the game.
That was just the 4th free throw for the Skyhawks tonight. 1 more and for a tie. Game knotted, 57. 21 points now for Ruben Clayton. 9 above his per game average.
65% free throw shooter. Hit a couple of big ones right there.
Blocking foul. I believe it's Irazabal going to be whistled for this infraction.
2 shots now. The end of a game, end of a close game, free throws and turnovers usually decide things. Tennessee with a chance now with Cameron Tatum at the line.
Shoots the Volunteers back into the lead. Vols in the double bonus. 3.5 minutes to play. It's just amazing what has happened to this Tennessee team after they won the NIT Tip-Off Classic. Just the second SEC team ever to win that event. Going back to 1987, the Florida Gators, the only other Southeastern Conference tournament, or rather team to ever win that tournament.
The Vols get off to the 7-0 start. They have the big win over Villanova, the big win over Pittsburgh. A couple of teams ranked in the top 10. It's like, hey, these Vols are looking solid. They're coming home. You know, playing a few games that they should win against the likes of Oakland, UNC Charlotte, Belmont. They'll really get rolling. You know, get USC in here. We'll hammer them, rub Lane Kiffin's face in it. But things just haven't gone quite the way we expected here over these last couple of weeks for this Tennessee Vols ball club.
And again, going back to what we started out the game with, the looming specter of the 8-game suspension for Bruce Pearl that goes into effect 2 Saturdays from now when this team plays the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, of course, Coach Pearl's going to be coaching the team. He just won't be able to coach the team during the game. I think if I'm not mistaken, the suspension takes into effect, an hour before the game and then an hour after the game, and then he's coaching the team. But still, he will not be on the bench for this team that all of a sudden finds itself struggling.
Yeah. Tony Jones has done a lot of things as far as substituting and handling a lot of duties for this Vols basketball program these last few years, but he will be at the helm for Tennessee for that 8-game SEC suspension. It will be very interesting to see how the Vols respond.
12 ties now, and Tobias Harris, 8th lead change, shoots the Vols back into the lead.
Tobias Harris, Scotty Hobson, the 2 guys that Coach Pearl wants to make plays for him down the stretch at the end of these ball games. Tobias Harris, the nice finish there.
Simmons for the lead. Dane Smith had a rebound, couldn't control it. Clayton comes up with it. Simmons challenges the defense, misses the reverse, and Tobias Harris with the rebound in the clear.
Nice job contesting that shot by Kenny Hall. Good decision not to jack that shot up.
Tatum, wild shot.
I thought turning down the three, he'd get something better. Cameron Tatum, poor decision there. UT Martin a chance now to bring this thing back to a tie game.
Or maybe even take the lead if they get the ball in Simmons or Clayton's hands for a three. They spread the floor down to 10 on the shot clock, and Dane Smith stepped on the baseline.
Poor possession for UT Martin that trip down. Never got it to their best scorers, didn't get it to their key guys. Looked like Kenny Hall may have gotten away with a little bump there. Smith trying to drive around him along the baseline. Hall gave him a little hip.
Yeah, those last two possessions, great examples. Two players trying to take things on their backs.
Yeah.
Tatum and then Dane Smith, and not playing within the context of the offense.
In both clubs, you have go-to guys. Ruben Clayton for UT Martin, Scotty Hobson, and Tobias Harris for Tennessee. And Coach Pearl wanting to make sure that the right guy ends up with the shot in this situation as he tries to get his club ahead by 2 possessions here.
1:21 to play, 13 on the shot clock when we break out of this timeout. As you take a look at the Tennessee Volunteers schedule, and certainly it gets no easier. College of Charleston, Bobby Crimmon's team coming in here on Friday, New Year's Eve. Number 22, Memphis, will be here next week, and then the conference schedule starts. Arkansas, Florida, Vandy, Georgia, all tough ball games. The game at number 4, UConn, actually will be a game that Bruce Pearl will be able to coach. That suspension will not apply to that ball game against the Huskies.
That is a nasty stretch of basketball for Tennessee as we look at UT Martin schedules. They get into conference play. Southeast Missouri, TSU, Austin Peay. This UT Martin club now looks like a team. If they play like they have tonight, they look like a team that can make some noise in the OVC conference.
Absolutely. We're down to 5 on the shot clock. Goins. Air ball, 2 on the shot clock, and they get bailed out by Tobias Harris.
Well, they end up with the ball in the hands of the man they wanted it to go to, Tobias Harris. A big basket, and UT Martin needs to attack. They need to come up with something quickly, and that's the guy they want to make it happen, Ruben Clayton.
We're in the final minute. Clayton, long three-pointer, off front iron. Simmons got the long rebound.
Can't afford to take a lot of time here.
Terrence Smith, and a blocking foul is going to be called on the Volunteers, and that's going to put Terrence Smith at the line for the 1-and-1. Foul is going to be called on Goins.
Tennessee did force UT Martin to take a lot of time off the clock. Martin will have to foul, as Tennessee could basically run the rest of the clock out here, even though the shot clock won't be off. Only a 2-second difference between game clock and shot clock once Tennessee gets possession.
It is now a 3-point game. Terrence Smith, the freshman, 7 points here tonight. His 8th makes it a 2-point game.
Pressure from Martin.
We'll see how long they go before they foul. They get it to Goins. Goins, a very good free throw shooter in the final minutes.
It is time to foul.
Yeah, they can't drop back into defense here. I don't know what they're quite doing.
They've now matched up and gone man-to-man.
And the foul comes up top. Clayton fouling Tobias Harris, so they'll put the freshman on the free throw line.
Good foul shooters for Tennessee on the court, and the better foul shooters on the court made sure they maintained possession of the basketball. You got Harris, Hobson, Goins, those guys keeping control of the basketball. Make sure you get one of your better foul shooters to the line for these free throws.
Harris, a chance to make it a 3-point game. It is a double bonus situation, so he gets 2 free throws, and he nails the first. Another's just going to make things that much tougher on Martin, Tennessee Martin, and make it a 2-possession game.
Yes. With this much time left, UT Martin doesn't have to get a three-point shot regardless whether this foul shot goes in or not. You want to rush it down the court, get the best shot you can, be that a 2 or a 3. But Martin has to attack quickly. They've had a tough time with that. Tennessee defensively much better here in the second half.
Tobias Harris now 11 points after a slow start. Here come the Skyhawks. Terrence Smith. Under 17 seconds. Terrence Smith off front iron, rebound Tobias Harris, and that just might do it.
A scare for the Tennessee Vols. UT Martin made them really grind and work for this W that University of Tennessee is apparently about to pick up.
Well, if they hit their free throws, they're going to nail it down and pick up their 9th win of the season. But outside of Jason James and the UT Martin Skyhawks, probably nobody else in this building thought this type game was possible.
Yeah.
Got to give them a lot of credit.
Danger signs for Tennessee.
Absolutely. I think red flags all around, and they got to quickly ascertain exactly what the red flags are, how they're going to fix them, because the schedule only gets more difficult for Tennessee. And the conference begins 2 Saturdays from now as Coach James calls a timeout, and the Volunteers leading by 6. Time now to salute our Geico go-to player of the game. It is Scotty Hobson, 17 points, 5 of 12 from the floor, 3 of 5 on his threes here tonight, Barry.
Hobson was especially impressive in the first half. Had 12 of those 17 points in the first half for Tennessee. Knocked home several three-point shots here in the ball game. A solid performance for the junior leader of this Tennessee Volunteer Ball Club.
Scotty Hobson, our Geico go-to player of the game. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. You can call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com. 13.3 seconds remaining here for the Volunteers to get out of here alive. You see the reset situation. 3 timeouts for Tennessee, 1 for UT Martin. Dane Smith pushes the ball up the floor, loses the dribble, down on the deck, fighting for it. Possession arrow pointing in favor of the Skyhawks.
Positive things for UT Martin. Jason James talked about he wanted his team to compete and really give a strong effort tonight. That was the #1 thing, and no doubt he can head back to Weakley County with his club and know that they competed very well. For Tennessee, a very good performance defensively here in the second half. Tennessee Martin only 24 points so far in the second half. A solid effort at the defensive end of the court. They cranked it up as far as the activity that they had around the basket with their rebounding and their points in the paint here in the second half. And I think they can take some positive things out of this ball game as they move ahead into a brutal stretch of their schedule.
Don't know that was necessarily the smartest foul right there by Scotty Hobson, putting Terrence Smith on the line, giving him a chance to score with the clock dead. Terrence Smith makes it a 5-point game. Just those kind of things right there that leave you wondering about this Tennessee Volunteers ball club. All you had to do was drop back and play defense. Instead, you go for a steal, which isn't necessary. You commit a foul, and you give them a chance to score the ball.
Melt the clock away is what you're looking for here.
4-point game. Skyhawks not conceding just yet.
Got to have a turnover. They need some help from the Vols if they're going to really have a chance to win this game.
And Goins gets fouled.
Nicely done. Harris getting it into one of the good foul shooters on this Tennessee club.
Well, all things considered, and even considering a 60-point loss at Ohio State, not a bad run here by UT Martin. Their last 3 opponents, including Tennessee, Murray State, Ohio State. Tennessee averaged 29 wins last season, had 5 NCAA tournament wins. They're going to come out of this thing 0-3, but had a strong game against Murray, had a heck of a ball game here tonight against Tennessee, which as you pointed out, really sets them up to, I think, be a player in the Ohio Valley Conference this year. Maybe sooner than people anticipated.
Of course, picked last in the league. They're 4 and 25 last year. A very difficult year for UT Martin last season, but this team is getting better. They've improved over last season, and they will improve as this season moves along.
Coming up immediately following the conclusion, a replay of the Georgia High School AA State Final. Clayton a miss, and a tough loss here for UT Martin, and a big sigh of relief and exhale from the Tennessee Volunteer Nation as Tennessee survives the upset bid here tonight and holds off UT Martin by a final score of 68-62. And Barry, a lot of work left for the Vols to do.
Yeah, not much time to do it. A tough stretch of schedule coming up. College of Charleston, Bobby Crimmins Club will be tough to handle. Memphis, and then conference play without Coach Pearl. It's going to be interesting.
Scotty Hobson scores 17 here tonight as the Volunteers improve to 9-3 on the season. And now for my partner, Barry Booker, our producer, Tom Domer, and the entire CSS SEC crew, I'm Matt Stewart.